Good evening. Welcome to the third week of Comm 1. My goal tonight is to go over APA formatting with you so that as you're doing your first draft of your audience analysis paper this week, you will feel more comfortable putting it in APA format. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and share my screen with you, and I am going to pull up the document that I have provided for you on Canvas and go through it with you. So just give me 1 second. Let me get my screen shared. Alrighty, so we've got this pulled up here. Make it full size. All right, there we go. So this is going to be representative of 4 different pages. And I've kind of put it on one page for you so that you can see what it will look like throughout pretty much the entirety of your paper. And why don't we go ahead and start with what APA formatting is. So the reason that I am requiring you to use APA formatting is because communication is a social science, and in the communication discipline, we do use APA formatting for the majority of our work. So APA formatting is a way that you format your paper so that people can easily find things that they will need to find within it. So for example, if you are citing a source directly and you have it in APA format, the reader would be able to go to your reference page and find the source that you're citing. So it's basically a way to format work so that the reader can find the things that they would need to find. So the very first page, the cover page right here, that's going to be the very first page of your paper. And although you put a page number on the top right up in the header, it doesn't necessarily count as one page of your paper. So if you have a 3 to 4 page paper due, that title page does not count as one of those pages, just to make that clear. And we'll cover that further throughout the semester. I just want to throw that out there for you right now. So on the cover page, not only are you going to have the page number on the top right in the header, but you're also going to have a running head. Now the running head only goes on the title page, and please note that running head, the only thing capitalized is the R. So after running head, you're going to put the title of your paper, which in this case is going to be audience analysis paper. And I have provided you a sample cover page that is directly related to this paper that you are going to be writing. And that is on Canvas as well. And I've actually uploaded that into a Word document for you, so you can just make the necessary changes that pertain to you and your paper, like changing the name and the title and whatnot, and then use that document to continue writing your draft. So after you have the running head and the page number in the header, then you're going to look at the center of the paper. So you notice we have this information centered and directly in the middle of the paper. So you're going to have the title of your paper listed, and this is double spaced. You're going to have your name listed, not the instructor's name. My name, Erica Carlson, should be nowhere on your paper. The only name that should be on your paper is your name because you are the author. And then under that, you are going to include Fresno City College because you are turning this into a Fresno City College class. So that's the cover page. Very simple. Don't overthink it. I would recommend downloading the document provided in Canvas, that sample cover page, and just changing the information to make it pertain to your paper. So let's look at the second page of this APA formatted paper. So we've got the title of the paper, which matches the title of the paper on the cover page. However, you don't include the running head anywhere else on the this document. So this is going to be the second page. We have title of paper in all caps in the header in the top left-hand side of the page. And then we have the page number here. However, this is actually the first page of the paper because this is the first page you are expressing your ideas on. So the title should also be bold and centered on the top of your paper. So you're going to have the title twice formatted just like this. So your paper should look like this one. You should have 1-inch margins. This I couldn't have 1-inch margins. I guess they are right here. But your paper is going to have 1-inch margins. Don't try to, put 3-inch margins to make less look like more, because I will notice the difference. So you need to use 1-inch margins, Times New Roman 12-point font, and it's going to look much like this document, except this has been slightly altered. So you're going to want to cover all parts of your topic detailed in the syllabus and in the assignment guidelines. And you're going to receive a deduction if your paper is less than 3 full pages. And if it's more than 4 pages, you will also receive a deduction. So you can choose any topic you want, and I would suggest reading through chapter 6 of your textbook and kind of taking note of what interests you, because you can expand on that in your paper and write about something that really interests you. A good way to find a topic, like we were saying, is to browse through your textbook, specifically chapter 6, and pay attention to the subheadings. So you can't write a paper on the entire chapter. Let me get that fixed. There we go. You can't write a paper on the entire chapter. What you're going to want to do is pick a few things that would allow you to write a 3 to 4 page paper and cover those topics extensively. So the last thing that we'll talk about tonight is including in-text citations for all information that is not your own. So even if you rewrite information or ideas into your own words, you should always cite that source. So when you're citing a source in APA format, it's nothing to freak out about. I've actually provided you exactly what you'll need to be super successful on your paper, and just copy and paste from this document and then format it correctly, and you're gonna be good to go. So this is gonna be key for you to make sure that you're paying attention to this paper and using it to reference as you're writing your first paper in this class. So you need to include in-text citations. For this one, it's only going to be 1. And the only source required is your textbook. So don't worry about looking online for other sources. I want you to solely focus on chapter 6 and practice doing in-text citations as well as reference citations on the textbook. And I've done them for you. So let's go ahead and look at it. So communication papers, starting here, generally use many in-text citations. Your citations can occur at the end of your sentence in parentheses like this. See, parentheses, Waldeck, comma, Kearney, comma, ampersand sign, and, which is and plaques, comma, and then the year that the book was published or the article was published. So once again, this is an example of an in-text citation right here. If you are going to cite a definition that you read in this book, you could summarize it into your own words and then cite the author's names just like this. Now, please make sure you're spelling the author's names correctly so that the reader can directly match this in-text citation to what they see here in the reference page. In your in-text citations, do not include the author's first initials. It's simply last name, comma, year published. The other style that you can use for in-text citation in APA format is to cite the authors at the beginning of the sentence. So you could say, according to Rivera, Oz, and Liu, and then the year published in parentheses. So you can see this is a little different. We don't have the author's names in parentheses, it's only the year published, because this is an alternate way to do an in-text citation in APA format. So Rivera, Oz, and Liu know that you do one or the other, but not both. So basically, you're going to choose whether you want to do your in-text citation at the end of a sentence in full parentheses with the period after the last parenthesis, or if you want to start the sentence with the author's names and then put the year published in parentheses. Either one of those are fine. I personally would recommend doing both so that you can get feedback from me and improve for the next paper that you have due in the class. So if you're going to take something directly out of a book or directly out of an article, you are going to want to use quotation marks and make sure that you're spelling everything in those quotation marks and stating everything exactly how the author stated it, because that is a direct quote. So make sure if you're using a direct quote that you have quotation marks before and after the part you're directly taking out of the source. And then you can see here another example of an APA in-text citation. We have Waldeck, Kearney, and Plax, 2017, but because we're using direct quotes, you have to include the page number so that the reader could go back to that direct quote that you're citing. So you don't need to include page numbers when you're putting things into your own words, but you do when you're using direct quotations. So of course, you're always going to want to wrap up your paper with a brief conclusion. And then at the end of your APA paper, you're going to have a reference page. Now, your reference page will look a little bit different than this one does because you're only going to have one source, and your source is listed right here for you. So you can literally go into this document as you're working on your paper, copy and paste this into your paper, you know, type up references or whatnot, and you'll be good to go. You don't have to do this work on your own. So hopefully this video helped. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I did include a ton of helpful documents for you. Thank you. Have a great night.